Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, joined by Teddy and Marissa, and we're here to discuss the series finale of WandaVision. And I believe that was the title also, the series finale.
A fitting title, nonetheless.
They've been on the mark with the title so far. And yeah, WandaVision has come to an end. Friday mornings aren't going to be the same until next week when Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes on. So I like that. Nice Friday morning Disney Plus Marvel show.
I do like it, man.
Got a cup of coffee. Great way to start the day.
Foreseeable future, too.
I can go for a Saturday morning, though.
Actually, terrible way to start the day because WandaVision's gotten me really depressed lately.
Oh, I 100% cried the last two episodes. I'm like getting ready for work, crying into my coffee.
I'm at work crying, watching it.
You don't need to hit me with what is grief but love persevering at 9:30 in the morning. It's just gonna make me just depressed for the rest of the day.
It's almost like every episode, Vision is a walking philosopher. This man does not stop.
He just spits and spits and spits.
He really hit me with that Ship of Theseus thing.
Dude,
I was like, what am I supposed to do with this?
He's got me understanding shit that I shouldn't understand. It's like, why do I understand the Ship of Theseus now?
Do you, though?
I kind of do. I feel like I do. I'm going to say I do.
Enough for the plot point that they were going for.
Yeah. This episode obviously was very emotional at the end too, but in the beginning, it's more of a traditional type Marvel show, kind of steering away from the sitcoms the past couple of weeks and more into a traditional Marvel type opening in this one with big battles. And I did I think I preferred the show when it was more sitcom-y and more surreal at times, but I don't know, this was just very entertaining. I kind of like seeing the different battles with Vision and White Vision and Agatha and Wanda.
Those Vision fights look clean. They look really good.
It's like now you know why the show was so incredibly expensive.
Man. Yeah.
Vision looked sick too. I love the White Vision. I can't wait to see him again.
He's a good look. I mean, it looks pretty cool. And yeah, I think some people were complaining about the first half of this episode because it was kind of just more your traditional Marvel, and WandaVision's been so different lately. But I think we kind of expected I think the actors even teased a kind of climatic cinematic finale. And
you had to do that though. I mean, it's Marvel, right? you can't have Marvel without the fights and the superpowers.
I mean, considering
philosophy.
Previous episode ended with Agatha, trying to choke out her kids.
Yeah, that's reasoning to start throwing down,
I just want to say that, I admire this show because I can admire a show that strings you along for an entire season and doesn't answer every question within the first couple episodes. It left questions open from episode 1 to episode 9.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions answered, some not even answered, or some just left vague, and I think that we got a little bit more with Wanda and the Scarlet Witch. Now, Marissa, you probably know more than us. Is the Scarlet Witch, is that in the MCU now, it's probably different than it is in the comics, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a kind of a prophecy type they're portraying it here. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's somewhat similar in the comics. I forget what is original and what is retconned at this point, because Marvel retcons every 5 minutes. But yeah, the general thing is that the Scarlet Witch, her powers are chaos magic, and that's why in general that she's so powerful. And why
they're saying that she can't control her magic and it's too powerful to control. In
the comics, she oscillates a lot between villain and hero, and that's also part because she's an X-Men, or not an X-Men, but she's an actual mutant in the comics, and her dad at one point is Magneto. They retcon that too. But I think they sort of got at that here, the whole maybe villain type of thing, especially with the ending of this episode and the fact that she did hold an entire town hostage. They were in pain.
They were not thrilled with her.
No, they weren't. She even said it. She's these guys are never going to like me. It was a very doesn't matter.
Interesting note, I think, to end on.
Because Monica was they're not going to know the sacrifice you made, and it's well.
It's
I only had to make that sacrifice. It's because I made this world and put you guys under mind control. And yeah, we've seen Wanda in the past. She was a villain in Age of Ultron for a little, and then what happened in the beginning of Civil War. She's done a lot to people, not intentionally, but thinking about everything from Pietro to her parents to Vision and all of the, I guess, indirect harm she's caused people. Especially with Hulk also, when she mind-controlled Hulk and destroyed that city.
Lagos, yeah.
Well,
she has a lot on her plate.
That's one thing this show tackled a lot is the repercussions of what the heroes do. It's they don't always show society after the fact of when they come through a town or when they get done doing what they do to people.
I do feel like the show itself didn't want to necessarily hone in on the consequences of what Wanda did.
Yeah.
Because Monica's...
But they were.
They hinted at it, but they did not I think maybe, okay, this is just my personal preference. I think it would have been interesting if they went more of like, maybe not a villain route, but if Wanda was more like actively antagonistic at the end.
I just want to know how she's perceived right now to the Avengers, because they're out there.
I mean, who's left
sadly,
right now?
we didn't get anybody.
They were just watching the stream.
Yeah.
No one decided to come help.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange's like, damn.
But it's like at the end of this episode, is she a villain, or is she just gonna go into hiding now, like she did in Infinity War?
Well, I think the biggest thing is she was already like considered the strongest Avenger, and now she just unlocked this new power, and she's continuing to
She's stronger
learn
than the Sorcerer Supreme.
And she's studying now
with
too.
the Darkhold and everything like that. And
She's got that book, right? Is it?
Yeah.
She was reading that dark book, right?
Yeah, it was very much what Doctor Strange was doing at the end of his movie. It's
Right.
like you see his sleeping body, but like his like phantom self or astral projection is like studying.
yeah,
I was assuming that's what she was doing too.
yes,
Yeah.
I think so too. So she's gonna be a fucking problem
Yeah, she
coming
is.
up.
Especially because she heard the voices of her kids.
Yeah, that
So,
was
like-
a big like. Isn't that a comic thing too, where they kind of
Yeah. So the
So
story.
now they're alive in alternate reality. Is that what it is?
So I don't know what they're doing in the MCU, but in the
one
comics, in the comics, what happens is that Mephisto, comes and he's like, actually, your
Who's that?
children.
I know.
he
I've
goes,
never heard of him.
actually, your children are shards of my soul, and I'm taking them back now. And she's like, what? And Agatha Harkness in the comics wipes her memory of her children. So like, I don't know if it's to help her. I haven't actually read that specific part, but it's basically like spare Wanda of the trauma of remembering losing her kids. And then eventually Wanda figures it out. And she's like, wait, what happened to my kids?
Right.
And so she goes a little crazy trying to get them back.
So this is she's not done yet.
No, she's not done yet, which considering how this could possibly lead into Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
I have a feeling, I hope Agatha comes back.
Well,
Maybe
that's
in
what you said.
Multiverse of Madness.
I think she needs more.
I was
Agatha.
glad. I was so glad that I thought she was going to kill her for a
Yeah.
second there. I was so scared that they were going to kill Agatha and like close the door on the role Agatha has as teaching Wanda magic.
Right.
Yeah,
She's definitely more villainous in WandaVision than she is in
kept
the
them on.
comics.
She even said it. She kept her on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
I know where you are now. Whenever I need you, I'm gonna come find you.
Yeah, and I was so glad that
Yeah.
they didn't kill her
Yeah.
because like the potential, even if like a powerless Agatha Harkness and she has like no choice but to teach Wanda how to use like her crazy powerful magic with this evil book she now has.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
She hit Agatha with that with the reverse, the Uno reverse.
Well, Agatha
And the
hit
hex.
her with the reverse, and then she hit the double reverse. I thought that was a fun fight, and I really thought that kind of Wanda using her newfound powers and kind of learning from Agatha and kind of using the runes and everything to kind of flip the switch on her. Because the whole time I'm like, stop hitting her.
yeah,
I know,
the
I'm like,
same.
Doing your power.
Are you not realizing what she's doing to you?
Yeah.
But then I thought she fell for the trick too when she said, "To give me your powers, and this whole thing can be over with." Because Wanda was in that route where she was desperate and she was sick of all this, and it kind of made it believable that she would want to just give up all her powers for the hex to be normal for her. And then now she was throwing it at her. I'm like, oh no, don't do it.
I love how Agatha was like, "Oh, just give me your power. I'll fix the hex so people
Yeah.
aren't suffering,
Yeah.
and you guys can live happily ever after." And then she thinks she has the power, and she's like, "Just kidding. Once a spell is cast, like it's flawed. Like you can't do anything about this."
Well, I like too when she did the mind thing on Agnes, and Agnes flipped it on her.
Yeah.
That I thought that was cool. And watching Age of Ultron recently too, seeing that power come back was interesting. And also White Vision comes and just I think we saw this coming where Wanda was gonna be confused and he was just gonna fucking start.
Smash her head in like a grape.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, it was
It's pretty dark,
He was
man.
going
She was
for it.
You heard crunches. She was
Yeah.
screaming. Like it was just violent.
But that was very interesting, the Vision versus White Vision confrontation. Obviously, the cool battle and seeing them with the, I don't even know how to describe it when they go into
Phasing.
each other. And they phase in and
yeah.
out. I thought that was all very well done, but that was a very interesting kind of development there when he requested elaboration.
Hayward was so convinced. He was like, "This is it. I'm gonna win."
Hayward
It's like you would
Hayward's
think that
bad.
like minds like this, like they're too much for like to think that they're gonna stay on what you think. They think too much. They're AIs, man.
Yeah.
It's like they're smart. You're not building just a sentinel, like a war machine. Like you're building a mind that's smarter than anyone's ever seen.
Right. And I think the interesting thing with this Vision is this is technically real Vision from Infinity War.
Now it is with all the
Put back
memories
together. And fake Vision had to code his mind so he can access those memories again. So I guess Vision's technically back.
How do you not show a cutscene of where he went to? Because he just flew away.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He's like,
I
don't know.
wonder if he has the memories but not the emotion, because that's also sort of White Vision's deal. It's like he mostly remembers things, but he doesn't have the same emotional connection to any of it. So, I want to know how that's going to play out and if they're doing the same type of thing. I feel like they will, and then eventually he'll get his emotions back, because that's the classic, that's the classic thing to do after this.
Definitely. Teddy, now explain the
ship of Theseus?
Yeah, the thought.
So the ship of Theseus essentially is like, let's say I died.
Yeah.
Right? But I came back to life with my memories. It's what happened with Vision, and then someone recreated my body, and I gave my memories to that Vision, to that body, and it's like, is that who's really living? Is it me, or is it the other body? Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
I get it in my head when I say it out loud.
I'm saying the memes.
I don't say no words, no good.
The memes that came from that were fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And the Vision with the necklace.
The drip Vision.
What is drip but swag persevering?
I love it. All right, so I think the biggest thing for this episode, and I think for everyone watching it, was Pietro. And
yes.
I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
That was, I know a lot of people were disappointed with the finale in terms of theories and like kind of expectations and stuff like that. I never really I have fun trying to guess, Doctor Strange is definitely gonna come. He didn't come. It's like, oh, we might get Magneto. We didn't get Magneto.
It always just seemed so right, though. It just seemed like everything was working like a perfect storm for all this to happen.
Right, but I'm never gonna not like something or deduct because
of what you thought didn't come. Yeah.
But the Pietro thing was, I've seen some theories around that, so it might be something else. But on the surface, that was not only disappointing because it didn't open up the X-Men or anything like that. It was just, why put that character in there? And then if he really is Ralph Bohner, then that is just, first of all, it doesn't make sense to bring him in, and it's just why break the fourth wall? It kind of I don't know, it's just a weird thing for them to do. So I honestly believe that we are going to get more with that.
Yeah, they did
forward.
They did it just to have, he's established now in this universe, so now when they want to pick from it, they can. I don't think they're doing it anytime soon, but the door's open. When X-Men do come, we know why.
If he's just Ralph Bohner, then, because it just doesn't make sense that to bring Evan Peters Quicksilver and have Agatha manipulate him as Quicksilver if he's just going to be a nobody. And I saw someone say that when Jimmy Woo first shows up this season, he mentions someone in witness protection.
Yeah.
So that could be it also.
I thought it was a mailman.
He's still up to something.
Yeah, he is.
Even though he's not on the
Don't shoot the messenger.
He's still doing something.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Stealing mail or something.
Yeah, it's also the thing with, Evan Peters is, what did they think we were going to expect by introducing that character?
For real.
You introduce someone who everyone, or at least, Marvel's general fan base, they're going to know Evan Peters is Quicksilver in the X-Men universe. So by introducing...
Marketing.
I mean, yeah, but
gets to talk on it.
By introducing Evan Peters in this universe as a different version of Quicksilver, but who clearly, doesn't really remember what's going on with him. Obviously, we all think it's mutants. But I personally... I never thought I know everyone was saying Reed Richards was gonna show up. I didn't think they were while watching this season, and I kind of didn't want them to, because I didn't want them to shoehorn so much stuff into this show.
They didn't shoehorn anything. It's at the end. That's what's so funny. We expected so much from this.
Yeah, the one thing I think I said this last week, that I said I was going to be disappointed if Pietro didn't come to be anything. Mm-hmm. And I am kind of disappointed that what he ended up being is less clear than I would have liked. Because
right.
I would have just one mention of anything to do with the X-Men. Anything. Though I do like the theory that he might be the witness protection person. And who knows, maybe it'll be elaborated on in Doctor Strange, which we have to wait a full year to see.
That's frustrating. It's so frustrating.
I really do hope. I don't think so, but I just hope not. I just hope it's not the case where that's just it, because then it's just
if they never address this again, then it's clearly they did it for shock value and to troll us. And
do you guys think that
why?
Marvel is starting to get a bad rep with trolling? Do you think this could start being a blemish on Marvel where they do too much trolling?
I feel like if they did it another time, if there was another instance in the future of something of this level, then anything they did after that, I'd be they're messing with us.
I don't think Paul Bettany's was trolling, though. I think Paul Bettany started off as a joke, and then people, the fire started burning, and then people, it got way out of hand, and then Paul Bettany started eating his words. I was like, oh, shit.
That's what happens. You just take one soundbite and it just spreads like wildfire.
Because think about it. It is a big cameo, Paul Bettany as Vision. That Vision's back. That's huge, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he was a big death in Infinity War.
I think he was definitely joking, and he didn't expect. I feel like in general they didn't expect WandaVision to like inspire this many theories, like in general to become the like phenomenon.
Yeah,
like everyone was watching WandaVision. My parents watch WandaVision. Like they barely watch MCU movies.
About it.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, like the first half of the episode, I mean, we got more insight onto Wanda's abilities and kind of things like that. She has the Scarlet Witch outfit now, which I thought looked incredible.
Magneto-esque, her outfit was. I sound like Yoda.
I was gonna say that's a very Yoda.
Her outfit looked like Magneto's outfit.
Yeah, I mean, that outfit looks great, and now she is officially the Scarlet Witch. That was like the running joke in the MCU for a while. It's like, well, Wanda, she's not technically the Scarlet Witch.
They love to, not really use names. It's like Iron Man is Iron Man, Captain America is Captain America, but like the rest of them, how many of them really have names?
Yeah.
Besides, Thor, that's just his name.
Yeah, that's just his name. And I guess they call Hulk the Hulk.
Yeah, I thought the outfit looked great. And I thought the way they kind of, I don't know, her, like I said before, her flipping it on Agatha at the end, I thought was a cool way for her to get victory over her. But we kind of returned to more of the emotional side of the series. And the part of the series that I enjoyed so much was delving into Wanda's trauma and everything. And I thought at the end there, that was probably one of the saddest things I've seen in a while. Just knowing what she's been through, seeing her struggle this season, dealing with all this trauma, and then having the thing that made her happy, ripped away from her again. Now with her children as well. I thought that was, and I saw someone show that like Wiccan, he can read minds, and like he knew what was going to happen to him, and that just makes it even worse.
It's like they put their kids to bed and then they disappear into the ether.
So she's seen Vision die 4 times now?
It's been a lot.
Poor girl, man.
And another great fucking line when Vision says, I said goodbye to you already, and Wanda says, well, it stands that we will say hi again. And the writing in the series, I think, especially on those emotional cues, I think has been very good. And I think that's the main takeaway. As much as, like, the fights are entertaining and things like that, and getting to see Vision on Vision, Wanda versus Agatha, those are going to be the things that I remember and go back to when I think about this show.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that for a Marvel show, that you go on to the writing. And the writing is what drew everyone in, not the fighting.
Yeah.
And just their purpose. Like, the way they tackled reality was phenomenal. They tried doing it with Thanos. It was like every time Thanos talked, you listened to him. Like, it just seems so right. But then we start talking about genocide, veered off. But every time Vision talked, you like heard everything he said, and you felt everything he was saying. Yeah.
I kind of wanted the kids to do more.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I liked what the kids did.
I thought it was a cool scene when they kind of...
I thought it was
kids.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I just threw them into the fire, too.
It reminded me so much of in The Incredibles when the family, like, teams up.
Yeah.
That's, like, literally the exact scene that I was thinking of with that. I thought it was cute, though.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
Hayward really did hesitate in trying to kill, like, all of them.
Yo, for real.
He emptied the clip.
Is Sword... Like, are we going to get, like, a Hydra shield thing with Sword? Like, because he was dead trying to kill Wanda.
I think he got arrested, so I think he was just acting on his own accord.
Thank God. Like, what's your deal, guy?
We do see Monica Rambeau showing off her powers again. She was able to stop the bullets.
She like sees energy, right? Because she saw the beads on.
Yeah, I'm
on Evan Peters' neck.
Sure on the specifics, yeah, but she can see energy and then in turn like absorb it and like channel it in herself and like turn into that.
Trying to think, she ate the bullet, right? It went like through her body.
I think what I read is that she turned into like light energy or something and like stopped it because the bullets passed through her and then they didn't go further. Because at first I was like, are the bullets gonna go through you and hit the kids?
I'm good.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice moment, especially I'm interested to see where Monica kind of fits in the MCU going forward.
She's clearly going to go see Nick Fury, whatever he's doing up with the Skrulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was Far From Home, right, that revealed that he'd been a Skrull for that entire movie?
Yeah. So, yeah, that was another big reveal that she has some connection with the Skrulls from Captain Marvel, and I wonder if she's going to show up. I guess the Skrulls' next appearance would be in Captain Marvel too, I assume.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And also whatever bad blood she's got going on with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel comes back.
Is it bad
her
blood
best friend's daughter. There seems to be an issue because earlier in the season, they brought up Captain Marvel and she was like, "We're not talking about her right now."
I wonder if it's more of like she maybe blames Captain Marvel for her mom's death.
Whatever that is,
she's died of cancer, I think,
there's some
right?
kind of issue there.
Yeah.
I don't know what else she can be mad about with Captain Marvel.
I think maybe she might even get a Disney Plus show. I could see that happening in the future.
Yeah, but I think that'll be a long while in the future.
But that was definitely interesting to see the Skrulls. I was expecting Doctor Strange, but
I love the scene when Wanda threw the car at Agatha, and she had like the Wicked Witch.
Yeah,
that was
a nice Easter egg.
And then she just kind of like disappears for a second, and then they're like, "Oh, White Vision." She gets her head almost juiced.
The mountain style.
Yeah, that would have been dark. She just would have crushed her head.
What's Darcy doing right now?
She crashed the van into Hayward. She was like, "Have fun in prison."
Yep.
She was at that intersection for like a whole episode.
Good old Darcy.
Yeah, she was held up, huh?
Yeah, she really was. They didn't not want her getting over there.
Yeah, now Vision. Everyone thinks they were trying to keep Vision away, but it was just Darcy.
So did you guys like Agatha as a villain though? Do you think she could have done more? Because I think if they would have introduced Mephisto, she would have been so much more better. Like she wasn't the main villain.
I thought she was better earlier on than she was in this episode.
Yeah.
I think making her outright villainous was maybe not a mistake. Different than I expected it to go, because she is more villainous in this show than she is in the comics. Because, like, in the comics, she starts out as, like, Franklin Richards' babysitter. And they're like, oh, surprise, she's a witch. I think they should have gone in more on the fact that Wanda has all this power she doesn't know how to use. And Agatha, whether it's for her own motivations or in general because she doesn't want, a ticking time bomb like Wanda to not have any knowledge of how to use her powers.
Just seems smart to, be on her good side.
Because, I understand what she was doing in the beginning. Like, she's there. She's trying to figure out what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Trying to figure out if Wanda knows what she's doing. And I think the turn from outright just trying to steal all her power, because I don't know, I feel like Agatha's too smart to get played
fast.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked her last episode, and this one it was just more of, I guess, that's kind of how they wanted to I guess, plan the show, right? Where you have all the development and
it was just more rushed. They rushed it.
And then episode 9, it's going to just be the big climactic battle. And I think that's the thing with the show like this, is if that was kind of one episode, those two, if it all kind of just culminated together, I think it would have been a little, I think I would have enjoyed that a little bit more. But the fact that it was 1 week away and the way it's kind of paced out, waiting a week and just hopping right into that battle where you don't really get too much more characterization for that character, and then she's defeated, I think, was a little...
One more episode would have done this. Would have done Agatha justice. I think they could have delved more into Agatha. I
think what it was is that the Agatha and White Vision felt like too much.
Yeah. Which is imagine White Vision, Agatha, then X-Men. Anything else they were trying to shoehorn in into one more episode.
Because I thought, it was interesting that Agatha, she was straight up just going to kill all the sword people.
Yeah.
And Wanda was like, no, I'm torturing everyone else here, but don't kill these soldiers. But I thought it would have been so cool if Agatha was because she is opportunistic. It would have been so interesting if she just straight up was started helping them because White Vision turned out to be more of a threat.
Right.
But I don't want them to sacrifice that last moment with the ship of Theseus, because I liked that. And White Vision being like, oh, wait, I'm a weapon. They're using me. And, disappearing.
You can't control White Vision, huh? You can't control any vision.
Well, I would have actually preferred too, as much as I like some of the aspects of the Wanda and Agatha showdown, if they leaned more into kind of what they did when Wanda goes into her mind. And it was more of a mental type magical battle, on some, I don't know, kind of something other than just them fighting, flying in the air.
Internally.
Internal, mental, kind of using both their powers, going back and forth, trying to manipulate each other, something like that. But, at the end of the day, I think that was entertaining. It wasn't my favorite part of the series. My favorite part of the series, obviously, is when they delve deeper into Wanda, and I think her development this season has been incredible, and probably the most developed and probably best character in the MCU as of right now. So
it's amazing how much I care about Wanda now compared to when this show started.
Right, exactly. They did a tremendous job.
Wanda and Vision.
When this show first dropped, it was almost like, why are we getting a WandaVision show? And
I remember when they announced
it. WandaVision.
When they announced it, I remember that first trailer came out and everyone was like, what is this?
Yeah.
We had no idea what it would be about. I wasn't expecting this, at all.
This is having the same effect Guardians had when it first came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I think the finale was solid. I think that, like I said, the journey I think was better than that episode on its own. But like you said, Wanda, I'm so interested to see what happens with her next. And
there's got to be a season 2, right?
I don't think so. I think
it depends on where Doctor Strange leaves her.
I know Feige said that the door for season 2 isn't closed, but he has said that there is no season 2. So it's like
Because I wonder with these shows, right? Like,
you're missing out if you don't make a season 2.
But I also feel like a lot of the shows, I mean, I guess we'll see with how Falcon and the Winter Soldier plays out, but some of it feels like they're making the show as like the path to the next movie.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily mean there would be a season 2.
Where you can answer all the questions in the next movie that comes out.
Yeah, and like based on, with the pandemic, obviously their production schedules get super delayed. So like who knows how effective this could end up being. I don't know how they would do a season 2.
I'm going to need Doctor Strange like in a week.
I need to know what he was doing. Year. Like what's going on with him.
That's got to be a big question that's got to get answered.
I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I saw somewhere that like WandaVision takes place before Far From Home.
Yes, it does.
And in Far From Home, they say that Doctor Strange is busy. So, like...
What the hell's this guy doing?
Does it have to do with whatever is going on in this movie? Are they going to maybe retroactively change the timeline?
Maybe it's something where Wanda kind of opened something up. Like, the Nexus was mentioned and everything like that. So he could just be dealing with that. It's like, yeah, sorry, Wanda, you're going through it right now, but you just opened up a fucking... portal to God knows
Maybe
what.
He's the one dealing with Mephisto.
I just realized that like the commercials never really got answered and what those were. Maybe we'll get those answers in the coming shows and movies.
I like the idea that it was maybe Agatha being like, hey.
Time manipulator.
Yeah. It's like, hey, tell me how you did this.
Yeah.
Deal with your trauma for once.
So I think like the finale, it was good, but I think if it was as strong as the rest of the season, I think this could easily have been a top 5 Marvel property. Or
you think it dropped for you?
A little bit, but I still have it very high up.
Yeah.
And I guess when I rewatch it and kind of maybe seeing what happens, what this leads into, it might boost it back up there. But for the first 8 weeks, it was knocking on the door.
Yeah, it was.
And I think that a little bit of, like I said, I don't think it was bad at all, but I think a little bit better finale would have skyrocketed pretty high. But I still enjoyed the show immensely. And, we are getting Captain and Winter Soldier, but that's going to be more traditional Marvel. I'm going to miss the emotional toll this show took on me week after week. So
you kind of like feeling like this.
Yeah. It's like, damn, other people are going through it too.
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, I just admire what this show did. Not blowing its load in the first couple episodes and stringing us along the entire season. Not answering every question. For a brand new show like that, that's risky. And even just to lead off with a show like this is risky, and I admire it. And I think they nailed it on the head. Opening up the rest of the series. Opening up the rest of the phase. So I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I think overall, is this episode my favorite of the show? No. But I feel like all the episodes are just so good.
Mm-hmm.
And if what they wanted to accomplish was to get me to see Doctor Strange 2 when it comes out, they've succeeded. Because, Doctor Strange is a kind of was I probably going to see the movie because he ended up being really good in Infinity War and Endgame? Yeah. But like now I'm like waiting for it. Before I wasn't like waiting for Doctor Strange. It was like, oh, maybe
now it's like you need to see Doctor Strange.
If theaters are open and safe when Doctor Strange comes out, I am seeing the movie.
That's a Thursday night movie right there.
Yeah.
Opening day.
Yeah, I was excited to see Doctor Strange 2 after the first one.
Yeah.
The first one was so good, and now this is just like ramping everything up.
The first one I saw it 2 weeks after it came out. I was like, I'm gonna go on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I will tell you what though, I do hope they bring Jack Schaefer back in some capacity, especially when tackling Wanda in Doctor Strange. What
movie is she doing next? She's currently doing another Marvel movie, right?
Yeah, she also wrote Black Widow, so
yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, Black Widow, it's been pushed so many times.
I know. Well, that's going to be a story that deals with a lot of past trauma too. So, but I would love to see her come back. Even
they're getting dark, huh?
Yeah. Jeez. And produce some not even just with the Wanda character. Obviously, I think she probably is very in tune with that character. So I hope that she has a lot of input going forward with Wanda. And yeah, it was just a wild ride that I didn't really expect, and it's come to an end.
And I want her kids to come back, and I want them to do the Young Avengers. That's what I want out of this. They got Kate Bishop coming up. Yeah. The kids, they only need a couple more characters. They could put Spider-Man in there. I'm fine with that.
I know you're listening, Feige. You hear this? Do it. Get it done.
Well, would you look at that? It's finally over. Hey guys, Bo Oliver here for one final send-off. Now, before I beg you guys to like and share this video, I'd like to thank our very special Patreon pledgers. We are very proud of the community we've been able to build here at NerdTube, and it would not have been possible without our Patreon supporters. You guys are the true MVPs of this channel. Everything I've said, you keep the fridge full, you keep the lights on. There aren't enough words to thank you guys, but we'll do it anyway. Thank you. And we have a few videos coming up that have been suggested to us by Patreon pledgers: My Hero Academia, Neon Genesis Evangelion, WandaVision, and Full Metal Alchemist will be reviewed by Marissa, and yours truly, and Castlevania, which will be reviewed by Marissa and Aaron. And if you'd like to consider donating to our Patreon page, you can visit patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out some of the rewards we offer to our listeners. And really, we'd like to thank everyone who takes the time out of their day to watch our videos. Patreon pledger or not, your support is what keeps us motivated to keep giving the world our opinions on movies and TV shows and video games and pop culture, even though no one asked for it. We're still here, we're still yapping, and we hope you continue to join us. I'm Bo Oliver, and I support this message.